Hello grade 12, welcome to next episode of your trial exam. We are going to do 4.2 now. We've done 4.1 yesterday, so make sure to know that one before we carry on with 4.2. Here's 4.2. This is all about placing advertisements, and the question is going to deal with the string grid and the 2D array now. So when you put videos up, then you sometimes have to put advertisements in, or you can. And in this question, the profiles can have 2 or 4 advertisements in their positions. And here the diagram is basically showing you the string grid with the 2D array. At the moment, there are no adverts, so no advert meaning no adverts in the positions 1, 2, 3, and 4. The last position is position number 4. And this goes 1 to 8. Basically, it's just the number of videos that there are a maximum of 8. The two-dimensional array has got real data types, so we'll have a look at it in our code. Here it is, an array 1 to 8 and 1 to 4 of real, so maximum of 8 videos allowed, and 1 to 4 are the positions of the adverts. That's our 2D array. The number of videos and the position of the adverts in the videos. Now, in the display event, they're filling up the string grid with the headings and with the array contents. And this is a global array, and it will be automatically set to 0. The contents will be set to 0, and if it is 0, no advert. Otherwise, the string grid is going to display. In this display event, the string grid will have the 2D array filled with the items, the string grid will be displayed with whatever the 2D array has got in it, and that code has already been written for you, so you don't have to worry about display. All you have to do is call display, just like in 4.1. You must remember I called display. I just wrote display and it displayed everything. You didn't have to worry about it. Here we have to worry about filling up the 2D array with the correct contents. So bear in mind that the global 2D array will automatically have 0 in it because it's a real data type. All integer arrays will have automatically zeros inside each box. Now, no advertisement will occur at the start of the playback of the video. So in the diagram for the 2D array, that first position is not the start of the array, it is a quarter of the way through the video. The second advert will be halfway through, the third advert will be 3/4, and the last will be at the end of the video. So quarter of the way you'll have a video and an advert, and then halfway through the video there'll be an advert. 3/4 of the way there'll be another advert, and the last advert. And that's going to be if you choose 4. You can only have 2 or 4 adverts placed into a video. Now you're going to choose a profile name over there first, and then you will be asked via an input box statement in 4.2, an input box statement where you have to enter code's already written there. Don't delete it. You're going to have to choose either 2 or 4. You enter either 2 or 4, and our number is going to hold that, the number of advertisements, either 2 or 4 depending on what you want for that particular user profile name, which is going to be chosen from the combo box CMB profiles. And then you're going to fill the 2D array with the position of the replacements of the ads. If there are 2 advertisements, then they're going to appear at the first quarter and at the third quarter point. And if there's 4, the whole 2D array will be filled with the contents with advertisements. Okay, so if it's 2, then you're going to be in the first position, that's quarter, and then in the third position, which is 3/4, and if there's 4, you'll have in all the positions will be filled. Now, depending on how many videos the person has, if they have 4 videos or 5 videos, and so on. If you look at the text file that we created yesterday or the day, or whenever in the previous activity 4.1 question, we created this text file, and this gives you an understanding of what's in the 2D arrays, in the single arrays, because you've got to go through the parallel arrays, AR profiles and AR minutes, to go and get those values. So ARR profiles will have the profile name, and AR minutes are going to have the number of minutes for each video. So we're going to work with Steve Xolo because that is in the example of the output here. And yeah, so basically we're over here, hey? So for advertisements, I've explained it's going to be in all the positions: first quarter, halfway, third quarter, and at the end. And 2 is just going to be the first quarter and then the third quarter. Now, here's instructions here in the radio buttons, the bullets here, where we have to display we have to basically initialize to 0. Now, there's a reason for that. Even though it is globally declared and is automatically 0, when you want to change the profile name and the number of videos, a number of ads in your program, the 2D array needs to be reset. So we do have to write code to initialize all the contents of the 2D array to 0. Right, so we'll do that. And then we're going to do the placements, calculate them and put them in the 2D array, and then we'll just call the display procedure. Right, now here's an example. That's why I'm choosing Steve Xolo. He's got 5 videos, and you can see it from the text file as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go through each line of the text file of the array, the single array. So you mustn't get confused with the 2D array and the single array, because we have to go through AR profiles to find Steve Xolo's name. AR profiles will hold all the profile names, as I said before, and AR minutes will hold these numbers over here. So we have to go through AR profiles and AR minutes to go and find Steve Xolo. And when we find him, then we're going to use this value there from AR minutes and divide it by 4 to get the quarter, and then, you know, work out for the half, and then the 3/4, and the last one. That's if we're using 4 different ads. If we use 2 different ads, then that's what the position will look like. So that's the display. So we don't have to worry about display. The procedure display is provided. All you have to do is write the word display, then you'll get your 1 mark for that. But before we do anything else, let's go and initialize all the contents of AR2D to 0. So in the 4.2 button click, to go through a 2D array, we always need iRow and iCol, don't we? So that's the first order of business, so to speak. So we're going to go for iRow equals, we need nested for loops. We're going through every single box. The rows go from 1 to 8. How do I know that? Well, over here, there's the 2D array declaration, 1 to 8 for rows and 1 to 4 for columns. Oops, I need to get back to my, then we go for iCol equals 1 to 4. It's very simple. 3 marks here, I think. 2, and then we're going to say ARR 2D square brackets iRow comma iCol equals 0. There we've initialized the 2D array with zeros. Easy enough, eh? Now we have to go through ARR profiles. So what we've done so far is make our 2D array look like that. And we're going to find Steve Xolo in ARR profiles. Okay, so we've got to go through ARR profiles 1 box at a time, and we're going to go through all the boxes because we don't know where, I mean, you know, we're assuming that it's everywhere. And once we go through AR profiles, when we find a match, we're going to go and access AR minutes to get the number of minutes. Now, if you look carefully, the minutes, I mean, these are the minutes for all these 5 videos. So when we find a match, we're going to have a counter for the number of videos. Now remember the 2D array, this is the videos of the 2D array. The number of videos is all of these rows. So that's our row. It's going to be incremented each time we find Steve Xolo's name in AR profiles, because that means he's got a video. Okay, there's 5 videos. If you look in the text file, you can see 1, 2, 3. Luckily we've sorted it all out already. Hey, I know it's in the text file, but this is just a representation of the 2D array as it stands after we have done 4.1. Remember 4.1 yesterday? We did that sorting and removing. So see Steve Gorlaw, we find him, and then we increment a row. And then we use AR minutes to go and put in the minutes of year. So if we've chosen four ads, then we know for the first one, which is 20, we're going to have 5 at the 5-minute mark, and then we're going to have it at the 10-minute mark, then we're going to have it at the 15-minute mark, and then the last one will be at 20. Can you see how I'm incrementing iCol here? Because these are the columns. So what we're going to do when you go through AR profiles, we're going to see Steve Gorlaw, we'll increment an R row for the first video, because these are the number of videos. He's only going to have 5, so only these first 5 rows are going to be used, and the rest are going to remain at zeros. These first 5 will be used, and yeah, for each column we're going to increment a column, increment a column, increment a column, and we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, because we chose 4 adverts. If we choose 2 adverts, we're going to make sure we place it in the right place there, which will be the first one and the third. So that is what's going to happen. We'll increment a column, and then we'll put that number in there, increment a column, and then increment a column again and put that number in there, and increment a column, and then put we will just keep it, we won't have to do anything after number 3. Right, so that's sort of the gist of what's happening. So for 47, 32 and 30 and so on, they will all be added. Now it all depends on whether they choose 4 or 2. We found that 4 is going to fill all of them, and 2 is only going to be the first quarter and the third quarter. So that's a diagram, a picture representation of what we're doing. Let's go and do it. First of all, we've done the setting to 0. Okay, we've put everything to 0. And now, like I said, we have to go through ARR profiles to find the name that the person chose in this combo box called CMB profiles. Well, okay, let's go and get S name and go and get it from the CMB profiles. So S name equals CMB profiles dot text. It's good enough. Now we're going to go through the ARR profiles array. Okay, and we know that those are parallel, ARR profiles and ARR minutes. ARR profiles is an array of strings, so we're going to use a for loop to go through, because we are going to go through every single one. You're not going to stop when you find one, because you want to go through every one. We want to see where all of them are. So it's R count, ARR, all the names of where this name that the person chose. Let's say they chose Steve Gorlaw. So we're going to go for K equals 1 to R count ARR, do begin and end. Okay, we're going to do quite a lot of things in begin and end. We're going to ask the question, if ARR profiles square brackets K equals S name, the name chosen, then, well, we're going to increment our row, aren't we? Because we're going to find our row. So let's increment our row. But wait a minute, we have not set our row equal to 0, have we? No. Let's set our row to 0 here. Actually, no, not even there. We set our row equal to 0 over here. Okay. We'll increment our row when we find a match, because now we've got the first video, right? Now we have to go and get our minutes and divide it by 4. If I number equals 4, we're going to have to do something different. If I number equals 4, we have to do something else. Else, if our number equals 2, we have to do something else. If our number equals 2, then begin and end. So there's your skeleton code, basically. And I'm leaving a gap here because I've got to set iCol equal to 0. Because I've got to now go and count how many columns I'm going to have for that particular row. So I'm on row 1, okay? So our row is set to 0 before we go through all the loops for the loop, AR profiles. And once we found a match, then I'm going to say, okay, iCol equals 0. Because if number is 4, I'm going to go and put things into the first column. And what I'm going to do, ARR 2D, in that first column for our row, column number R col, which will be 1, I'll make that equal to AR minutes square brackets K divided by 4, the first quarter. Then I have to increment a column again to go get to the second column. Remember, we have to go, if we're doing 4, we have to increment the column again. Okay, so we go to 2 now, we found 1, our row is now 1. Increment our column for number 2, and then I'm going to say ARR 2D square brackets R row and R col equals that times by 2. Then I'm going to increment a column again for the third column, and that's going to be the quarter times by 3. Then I must increment a column again for the fourth one, and I'm going to make that one just equal to this, the last value, the full value of AR minutes K. Now we can do that because AR minutes is an integer, the AR2D is real, so you can make a real, the 2D array is a real number, and you can make it equal to an integer value. So not the other way around though. You can't say an integer equals to a real value, but you can say a real number, which is what AR2D contains, equal to an integer value. Now that's if number is 4. Now I've got R col equal to 0 here, and this else part's going to happen if our number equals 2. And we'll do the same thing, we will increment a column so many times, but this time of course we're going to have only 2 items, which will be the first quarter and the third quarter, but we have to make up for that. We're going to increment the column again twice so that we can go and put in the third quarter. Okay, and we don't have to do anything else after that. So there's 1, 2 is nothing, and then 3, there we go. So I incremented R col, I mean I could have just said R col equals 3, but I've used an increment. So that's R col equals 1, that's R col equals 2, but I've just incremented them each time and used R col equals 0 there. You didn't have to really have R col 0, you just say R col equals 1, R col equals 2, R col equals 3, and so on. Now that would be more easier to understand, wouldn't it? So, right, I will get rid of the increment R col and just put in position number 1 and position number 2, and forget about this lot, and position number 2, but you get the general idea now, at least you understand a little bit what I'm doing here. Position number 3, I was making it more complex than what it actually really is, and then position number 4, that's going to be that, and then over here position number 1. Why? Because the first quarter is position 1, and they said you must have it in the first quarter and the third quarter of the array. So that'll be position number 3. And there you have it. So that's it. Our row definitely had to be incremented here each time we find a match. Okay. And now we're going to call display, and then we'll see what happens. Now just remember, in display it's taking the values from the 2D array and rounding them to 1 decimal place. Okay, see that? So they'll be real numbers, they'll be rounded to 1 decimal place automatically in display procedure. You don't have to worry about the rounding off for the display. Okay, so I'm going to run the program. I'm going to click on sort and remove, and then I'm going to choose Steve Gordle. Then I click 4.2, let's put in 4 advertisements, click OK. So there it is, it's just like in the example. Now what if I want to see Steve Gordle again and I want only 2 advertisements? I'll click OK. As you can see, because we set the 2D array to 0, we initialized them to 0, that we were able to do that, otherwise the 2D array will still have the old contents in it. You must, let's have a look and see if this is correct in terms of the display. Let's see, 11.8, 35.3. Yep, so that's correct. And 8 and 24 is the last one. Yeah. Now, why is no advert put there instead of 0 as well? Because that's written in the code on the display event. The display event. So you will get a mark for calling display, and if there's naught in any box, then they put in no advert. Otherwise, the string grid will display that array contents, 2D array contents, rounded to 1 decimal point. Now, it's very important that you try and do this without looking, and I will see you